Chickasha, you ready?
She gave you a thumbs up.
Oh, she did. Okay, I wasn't. I asked her, but wasn't looking at her. I'd like to go ahead and call the Chickasha City Council meeting to order. Like a roll call, please.
Hatchett,
Here.
Irving,
Here.
Gibb,
Here.
Hebblethwaite,
Here.
Smith,
Present.
Alexander,
Here.
Burris,
Here.
Southard,
Present.
Grayson.
Here, we have the opening prayer by Georgianne and the pledge by Kia.
Please bow your head with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity tonight to be here in these chambers to discuss the business of our great city. We ask that you guide our hearts and mind to make the proper decisions for all of Chickasha. We would also ask, Heavenly Father, that you continue to watch over all of our employees, return them home safely to their loved ones after each day of work and each shift. And we also ask that you please watch over our military, both here and abroad. In your name we pray, amen.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to citizen comments. I do have a couple here. I'd like to remind everyone that during citizen comments, we do allow for 3 minutes. I know that sometimes it's not a long time, so please feel free to either get with me after council or at any point. I will be happy to, if there's more that needs to be said, I'll be happy to pass it on to the rest of the council. Or feel free to show up at the other council meetings, as many of them as you'd like to show up. Highly encourage citizen participation. We'll start with Barbara Egbert.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and fellow citizens. My name is Barbara Egbert. I am here on behalf of the Chief Drive-In Theater, a proud member of the Chickasha Chamber of Commerce and historic part of this community since 1949. We are the oldest drive-in in Oklahoma, open year-round and committed to providing a safe, fun, and family-friendly atmosphere for our guests. Over the past year, from August 1st, 2024 through July 31st, 2025, more than 15,000 people came and enjoyed a movie under the stars at the Chief Drive-In Theater. And the #1 place they came was right here in Chickasha. Beyond that, we've seen guests from Duncan, Lawton, Blanchard, Marlow, Anadarko, Tuttle, Rush Springs, and even across the Texas border. Many of them stop for gas, eat at restaurants, and spend money in our city before and after the show. In short, the Chief Drive-In isn't just entertainment, it's a small but important part of the local economy. That's why we're here tonight with concern about a proposed drilling plan just west of our location. We strongly believe this is a bad idea, not just for our business, but for what the drive-in represents. A rig in this location could have several negative impacts. Light pollution, the glare of the rig can darken our screen, making it difficult for our customers to enjoy a movie. Noise. The sound from the drilling could easily overpower the audio and distract from the experience. And more broadly, the atmosphere. That unique, nostalgic, peaceful setting families love would be disrupted. We recognize and respect the need of economic development, but not all developments are compatible to all locations. The Chief Drive-In is one of the few remaining of its kind in this country. It's a part of what makes Chickasha special. Let's not risk the short-term gain. We ask that the council to please reconsider or explore alternatives to this proposed drilling site. Let's work together and protect the businesses that are already drawing people to Chickasha and making a positive impact every week. Thank you for your time and your service and your consideration.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
All right, next in the hopper, Liz Reed.
My main purpose for coming tonight was, first of all, one of my main purposes to say thank you to Mr. Crosby and to the city council for addressing this issue with the golf course. It's been ongoing for a long time, and we spend a lot of complaining about our state, federal, and city government, but when something goes right, I think we ought to express a thank you for that. And thank you to Mr. Crosby. I understand that that netting is going up, and I thank you guys very much. You're going to help a lot of people on 16th Street. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's all the citizen comments I have for this evening. We'll move on to council communications. And before we get too far into it, I just want to address something that I and we have been doing wrong for a little while. So according to Robert's Rules of Order, when it comes to discussing an agenda item, there has to be a motion and a second, then discussion. So we have to make sure we're talking about it after the motion and the second is made. That's the proper way to do it, according to Robert's Rules of Orders, and also Amanda, that's how she advised we do it. Doesn't mean we don't talk about anything, but we have to have a motion and a second to get to where we can talk about things. That's all I have.
I had a question on that.
Yes.
So when we go to the consent docket, to pull an item from the consent docket, is that after it's motion, second, and then we pull, or we pull before?
You would pull it with the motion. So, for example, move to accept the consent item with the exception of whatever it is.
Okay, so if you wanted to pull something, you would have to be the one to make the motion.
Yes,
Okay.
Or theoretically, we would let
amend it.
you know beforehand that we want to pull something from consent.
Correct, and I could recommend, or I could ask for a motion minus those items.
Right.
And then somebody would have to make a motion.
Okay.
And, I mean, nothing says that if a motion's made rather on the quick side, like tends to be with consent docket, doesn't mean that you can't, during discussion, ask somebody to amend their motion to pull those items. Because I don't think the goal here is to ever gloss over something that we need, that somebody feels that we need to talk about, right? But I know we get, sometimes it's quick and in a hurry on the consent docket, so, yes, preferably let me know beforehand, and that way we can address it. But if there is something and we make a motion in a second on the fast side, feel free to speak up, and I don't see any reason why anybody wouldn't amend their motion to pull something, because that's the right thing to do. So, did that answer your question, John?
Yes, sir.
Anybody have anything else?
I have a question, something that I've just been wondering for a little while, and this might be a Rachel question, you might be able to help guide or give me some information on, but I know that Airbnbs, VRBOs, rental property is becoming becoming very popular. Is there a way that the city has a registry of all Airbnbs or all rental? And that's my first part of the question. The second part is there a way that we're checking to make sure that the proper taxes are going to, if you go like on, I know Airbnb, or you go on VRBO, the way that taxes are collected and distributed to cities, and then I noticed on one of them it was the host, the property owner is responsible for paying unless it's outside of the generic city tax. So it was kind of complicated. I didn't know if we were receiving taxes from those.
Some of them have been paying taxes. In short, I tried to write an ordinance 3 years ago and get that passed. Ultimately, we need to update our ordinances and require a registration program within the city of Chickasha, and then we could have them register, and we could have an annual fee from them, and then also require them to pay the hotel motel room tax. The city of Norman and the city of Austin have pretty famous lawsuits about it. I believe the city of Norman won. I have to double check that. But other cities have enacted it. I know Mustang's doing it. It would be possible. I think we need to take a realistic look at what staff members are going to do that and how we'll implement that into our program. I don't think it's impossible, but I think we kind of need to look at some of that. We might, need to an additional staff person to kind of spread out some of inspections and things like that. But I think it's definitely possible. We just need to get an ordinance passed. And ultimately, it's not a planning commission action, ultimately it would be an ordinance that would come to city council to be passed. And then we would require everyone that's currently listed on VRBO, Airbnb, and I think there's one other that we can require. I think Expedia also does vacation rentals by owner, and require them to get registered with us and then pay hotel motel tax.
Well, and on that note, I spoke to somebody that operated Airbnbs inside Chickasha city limits, doesn't anymore, but Airbnb actually charged that tax and took it before they ever gave them their money. But then on the back end, I asked the city finance where that money comes in at, and they said, we've never seen that. So
There's been a few times where sometimes the property managers would pay us through Evolve, through their third-party management. Anyone that's independently doing, I'm not aware of them paying it.
Yeah, I was looking, like, if you read the fine details or the fine print on one of the sites, when you click on taxes and it broke it down, it was basically saying we collect the standard city, county, whatever, but any type of special taxation can be the host's responsibility to pay. And so I was like,
A lot of cities make them register so
Yeah.
that you have a running list of what your short-term rentals are. So we can kind of also manage them that way. And then that also brings the bigger question of, that also came up when we talked about that, was a rental registration program in general. And that we could hire a staff person that just maintained short-term rental and long-term rental registration programs or something
they're
like
just
that.
becoming so much more popular even here, I've noticed.
Yeah,
just in
absolutely.
the past year or two.
And as we have multifamily grow, that could be a person that also inspected hotels in multifamily. And so that might be an option we could look at.
I remember when we talked about that, that was, the driver behind that was making sure the rental properties in our community were safe to live in. Because there are a lot of landlords that will keep the properties in the water bill in their name, so it never has to be inspected or anything like that. I'm not saying it's a standard operating procedure, but I know that there are some out there doing that. And so something like that would at least allow us an opportunity to inspect it and make sure that people are living in places that are fit to be lived in. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, I had something to communicate with the council, and it involves Chickasha water customers. I didn't want to say necessarily citizens, because a lot of people could be a water customer. And I have it kind of in the form of 3 questions. My first one would be, how may a Chickasha water customer opt out of the, quote, volume-reducing smart meter? Is my first question. The next one is, how may they request a larger flow water meter? And the last one is, what recommendations are we to give local property owners or water customers who are encountering low water pressure? And I didn't really know where to direct that, but I wanted to talk about it when everybody could hear it and when everybody can perhaps make suggestions on it instead of just taking it right to Jim.
As far as how many people opt out, I don't know, that'd be something probably have to be researched.
Okay.
Push that to the water department or the building department probably, so we would have that information.
Well, I'll be glad to get the answers to your question and address them at our next meeting, sir.
I think that'd be great, and I'll just hand this card to you
All right.
after the meeting. Thank you,
All right.
council. Jim?
I didn't even know there's more than one type of meter.
I didn't either.
I don't think we do.
There's just one?
We have meters that we can tell you what hours you're using your water, and we put them on people that have problems. But a volume reducing water meter, you reduce that really at the hydrants, not at the meter. We have 3/4 meters is the smallest ones we have, 1-inch meters, we have 2-inch meters, up to 6 inches. If people need more water, they can get a larger meter. But also, when you answer your question about pressure, we're required to provide 25 PSI. That's the minimum, but you gotta have more than that really at your house if you really want it. And, but if people are having low pressure, if they let us know, we'll go and try to figure out whether there's a valve or something can be changed, but we can increase pressure in certain areas. And, but of course, one of the reasons we have 2 areas of water. We have a low-pressure zone, which is 80 PSI, and that's the older area of town. And we have the high side, which was approximately 120 PSI as it comes out. It will vary a little bit through the area, 100, but most of along the line, that's higher area. Once you really increase the pressure on the low side, that's when you really start having a lot more line breaks and things like that, because the age of the line just will not take the pressure. But we can check it out and find out why they have low pressure. There can be several reasons for it. But if they call us and let us know, we will go and check it out.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Mayor.
Anybody else? All right, we'll move on to item 4, consent docket.
Motion to approve the consent docket as presented.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Abstain.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Abstain.
Southard,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. Item 6, discussion, consideration, and possible action to authorize the purchase of 2 new all-wheel drive 2026 Ford Police Interceptor SUV K8As for the police department. Item number 10000009398 from Vance County Ford on state contract SW035 at the amount of $50,865 per unit, and to authorize the upfitting of the same at Vance Fleet Services under state contract SW0142 at the amount of $20,603.15 per unit, for a total of $142,936.30.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Southard,
Yes.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. Item 6B, discussion, consideration, and possible action to award RFP COC 2502 - Concrete Pavement Repairs Fire Station Number 2 to Kraft Reynolds. Gotta be real careful with that one. Construction company on the amount not to exceed $34,635.
Make a motion that we recommend awarding the bid to Kraft Reynolds Construction Company for an amount not to exceed $34,635 based on the recommendation from Scott Vaughn, city engineer.
Second.
Discussion. Now, this is the ramps, or the driveway leading out of it, right? The front side?
The Country Club Road side, the
It's
drive on the
Ninth
south
Street.
side, where they normally park the Pierce engine.
So 9th Street side.
It's the 9th Street
Yes, 9th
side.
Street side,
It-
sorry.
Right, this is the entrance for the trucks and what have you, that's sunk.
Yeah, 16th.
It's 16th Street,
16th Street
Yeah,
and Country Club.
yeah, okay, yep.
but it is the south side of that, on the Country Club, or excuse me, the 16th Street side,
This is the one we've been talking about for a while, getting done, okay.
the one where all the water's going.
Any more?
Fortunately, the Pierce engine has not fell through it.
That's good. Although the insurance, no, I'm kidding. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Ginn,
Yes.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Southard,
Yes.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. Item 6C, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve oil well drilling permit for Camino Resources, well Scarlet 0607-16-9-4, 1WXH, to be located within city limits.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move that we would postpone this until we could discuss it first before an actual motion is made in favor or against.
Second.
So the motion is to postpone it. I don't think that's,
We need a motion to discuss it.
yeah, we need a motion on the agenda item, discuss it like we just talked about. It can be for or
That'd be
against it.
great to
Yeah.
discuss it before we get a motion.
Oh, I don't think that's how, Amanda, that's not how that works, right?
That doesn't follow Robert's Rules
Right.
of Order.
Yeah, like I just talked about, we have to have an actual motion on it before we can discuss it. The motion can be amended, it could be voted down, it could be voted for, but we have to have a motion.
You can have a motion to approve or reject, and once that motion is made, you can then make the motion to postpone it indefinitely,
There we go.
which means if you make a motion to table, it'll come up at our next meeting. If you make a motion to postpone it indefinitely, it'll come up when a member that's voted in the affirmative ask it to come back up for approval.
Yeah, so I need a motion to approve or deny it.
I'll make a motion to approve the oil well drilling permit for Camino Resources for Well Scarlet.
Do I have a second?
No second, the motion will die, and you move to the next item.
All right, so we skip C now, since it didn't get a motion in a second?
So that means
Or
we
do I
don't have
entertain
time.
a different motion? Where do we get to the discussion part, is what I'm
If a
driving at.
council member wants to propose a motion, they can, but a motion cannot go forward if it does not have a second. It fails for lack of a second. So if there's a different motion that someone wants to put forward, otherwise you would just go to the next item.
Well, would Charlie's motion work? He motioned to want to talk about it, but that
He
doesn't.
would need a motion
He needed
to
a motion,
reject.
okay.
You can't talk about it because there's no motion to approve. That motion died, therefore you move to the next item, or somebody can make another
We
motion.
can make a motion to reject.
Motion to reject.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I would like to second that motion,
Okay,
immediately moving into discussion.
okay, let's have a discussion.
What is the motion? The motion was to approve.
Motion was to approve.
To approve, and now we are all free to
You can make
discuss.
a motion to postpone it now, can't you?
Wait,
Yeah, but I think they're wanting to discuss. I think they're wanting to discuss it.
Yeah, okay.
I think Mr. Burris's point was to get to the discussion part, which was where we're at right now.
Well, we do need to discuss it.
Agreed.
It's not new to our community. Just brought to light by some friends and neighbors of our community, of a business that is doing what they can to say, now, hold on a minute, now, what's about to happen here? And I'm not anti-oil and gas. It feeds my family, and it has for a lot of years. And I've been spoiled with oil and gas. I'm a spoiled city boy. I've never lived in the country. But we've got a lot of friends and neighbors in the country that have had to live near oil and gas locations. I visit those locations quite often. I have a lot of respect for the people in that industry. It's not always an easy place. But I often tell people that 300 foot from your house, this is a big operation. And the Lord gave us 5 senses. And those that have good vision, well, you're going to see it. Those that probably going to hear it. And often you smell it, and sometimes you feel it. I hope you don't have to taste it. So we had people come to us with valid concerns. And I think we'll also probably have people here with the dominant estate that they would hold to be able to go do what they need to do in their business. And it's not unheard of for our community to have such matters happen within our community. And I've bragged on those. When I first moved here, there was a company that had been in the area that I could say, oh my gosh, there's so many people, these homeowners that do have their minerals are receiving royalty from this. And I'll stand by this. At that time, any of the 50 worst eyesores in our community were not oil and gas locations at all. They were pretty well maintained and looked after. But my point is, I think we need to just slow down and see exactly what's happening before we prove this, and it be something that detrimental to the nearby people, whether they're actually Chickasha citizens, whether they're actually contained in the city limits or not, because I don't think that the entire project is encompassed by Chickasha city limits. So that's why I use the term friends and neighbors there. And it just seems like a time that council should slow down and give it a good chance for everybody to be represented here, because this is a big, big thing. Likely it can move forward with some extra provisions that you don't see on every location. And I have no idea from what we've been presented whether any of those extra provisions are going to be provided or considered. I'm curious if it's okay to ask, has the representatives from the company, are you prepared to make a presentation or let us know, or have you met the people that gave a concern? Have you guys been able to be heard both sides of the aisle here? I think you should. I'll have a question while you're coming. In this unit, has the city signed any oil and gas leases?
The gentleman needs to come to the podium so people can see at home who's talking.
Yeah. So my name is Russell Eustace. I do the surface negotiations for Camino. And Tammy here, she handles our permitting. So hopefully the two of us can answer some questions on this. And then just kind of give some facts about this location, what our plans are. First of all, I would like to say to Greg and Barbara, I met Greg a couple of years ago when we staked this site. He came over, was concerned, talked to me, kind of told him what the plans were. In our line of business, there's a lot of different variables. And so at that point, we were staking the site. We were negotiating a pad site, not on his property, but on Mr. Mark Morris's property. Mark Morris, his property is actually located inside the city of Chickasha. And so we negotiated with him on some different location options. Ultimately, this fit within our plan. It also fit within his property plan for his property, and he supported it. So we came to agreement at that time. To my regret, there was a period of time there that things just changed, and we didn't end up drilling this well right then. And so it just kind of got pushed back on our agenda several times. Other wells took priority. I think y'all understand how that goes in oil and gas, with other wells kind of being viewed as more marketable at different times. And so now that this well has come back into our agenda and we're going through the process, and Corporation Commission has approved the permit, all of our filings, everything is approved. As far as I understand, there's no city or state ordinance or statute that this doesn't meet the requirements of. That being said, we've just kind of jumped the gun a little bit on maybe some of the feelings towards it. So once we have this approval and once we kind of get our ducks in a row, I make it my job. I don't really go out too far ahead of us. It doesn't behoove us as a company to go out in a very competitive market and kind of outline to people exactly what well we're drilling next. And so this well is set to be spud sometime in late October. And so we kind of need to get our ducks in a row, get approvals in order. And then even though I would say we don't really have requirements right now to do certain stuff, Camino does appreciate trying to be a good neighbor. So we fully intend to continue that conversation with Greg and Barbara about what we can do. Our first conversation talked about what we could do to maybe support the theater during that time. Me and Greg talked today, and it sounds like he doesn't think that's a viable option. So we can be looking at other things. We can also do sound walls. My main point here would be, I don't want to solve a problem and create another problem there. And so we have so much budget that I think we're willing to try to do something to show some favor towards them. And so if that is sound walls, if that's something erected up to try to mitigate some of that, then we can do that. But I also want to be careful that if maybe what we would normally do is we'd work something out with them separately on a nuisance maybe, being that we don't have any regulations to follow there. And we would just try to come up with an agreement that they felt right about. But again, we're kind of cart before the horse on this one. And so I think that's why we're in the situation we are. I just found out about their feelings about this today. And so, yeah, but this is pretty normal for us to have these pad sites. A lot of people benefit from them. I believe there are 446, give or take, Chickasha addresses that are on our list that will actually be receiving revenue from the minerals from this. And so there's a lot of citizens here that will benefit, and hopefully that'll put a lot of money in pockets that we will be there for roughly about 4 months, and we'd like to see the community and the drive-in thrive. We have a lot of people that live and work in this community. We're a part of this community more than we're not, and so we definitely don't want there to be bad blood. We want to work on something and get that worked out. And Barbara, I appreciate you coming up here and sharing not only your thoughts, but also kind of your heart behind it. So we definitely respect that, and we want to work towards it. We just, like I said, we're a little bit behind the 8 ball on this one with kind of getting things ahead of itself.
And I would like to add something as well. I'm a consultant for Camino, and I do a lot of work for multiple operators, over a dozen. And I've never worked for a company that cares more about the community and the citizens within it, and has done more to make sure everyone is comfortable and within reason, of course, what they're able to do. But I just want to say to Barbara, I know that Camino is more than willing to work with you all to make sure everyone's happy to the best of our ability.
So, and that being said, this may be too forward, but I mean, I think this is where this is going, is that we have a little bit of some budget pricing on a sound wall. We're willing to say, we'll put that in place along the entire edge of that pad. I don't really know, this is kind of weird because we're working with the city, but we're also doing this to their benefit. So really it would be whether Barbara and Greg feel like that's the best use of that money, or if that money could be better used in a different way to make sure that the town of Chickasha feels good about what we're doing to try to keep the business, even though that's in Ninnekah. We understand y'all are so tightly connected. We understand that what's good for them is also good for y'all, and hopefully what's good for us is also good for y'all.
I was just hoping that you could be the good neighbor up front with them on that before approval. Then I do have these questions. I'm not that familiar with the unit. Have all the royalty owners been leased in your unit? Is it held by production currently, or are there open negotiations? And what I'm getting to there, is there any open acreage of the city of Chickasha within the unit?
You know, we have another representative here looking at a piece of acreage that will be bid on for the city of Chickasha, but as far as I know, I don't believe that is the case here. I could be wrong. As far as the acreage, so at this point, the OCC has approved all the permits, the pullings, everything like that. It's my opinion that most of the leasing and all that stuff has already been tied up and taken care of. That's why we have OCC permits. And then just so everybody knows the process, it's my understanding, and Tammy would be better at this, but the process of coming before you all is that Chickasha requires us to have all that other permitting done before we present it to you all. And so all that has already been done. Some other cities, it's kind of a little bit more of a fluid that they're notified before, but we're just following the process that's set out in the statutes for the city and the state.
I can't remember. There were a lot of nice pages, and the copies were kind of hard to read, the maps. It was small. Was there an authorization for expenditures included in what the council packet received?
Say that in an authorization for what?
Was there an AFE in the council packet?
No, that's usually an internal document. I don't know that we share that publicly.
Okay.
The city of Chickasha, from my understanding, would have to participate in the well and would have had to already elect to do that.
Would there be any assurances that there would only be the 2 wells that are mentioned here, or what's your surface?
Yeah, so
is there a chance that, oh my goodness, after we survive the first one, here would come the rig again for another well?
Yeah, so I believe the way that we negotiated that SUA was that there are certain payment penalties for an additional well. I don't believe our plan right now, our plan is to drill the 2 wells One of those is being heard on today, and the other one just, we got the OCC permitting, I believe, a day late to be able to make it into the packet for this one. So those are the only two wells. I do believe, again, like most of the things that we'll be looking at are statutes and state allowances by the OCC on whether or not you can put another well into a unit. So I don't want to get up here and say that it never would, more than likely, because where that pad is and where we already have wells, if there was additional wells in a unit, more than likely those would go on another pad. But then again, that's more than likely. Those factors are determined by a whole group of people, including the OCC, and also drilling engineers and geologists and a lot of different folks.
I think my final question is a curiosity.
Okay.
Would the people that spoke about it be assured that if they were dealing with you and comfortable about being a good neighbor up front, are they speaking to the actual people that can make the decision? Or is that something that you have to go get a different approval?
Yeah, so what I do for Camino requires me to try to keep as positive a name and reputation around here as possible for both myself and Camino. So, albeit that's why I'm very careful to say what we could do we really haven't had the opportunity to go and have that deep conversation. I would say that the numbers that we put together for a sound wall, we're already willing to do those. And so that would give me a budget range to say, yes, we do have some budget there that we're willing to spend for the benefit of them. Somewhere, I don't know if you want me to talk about the budget of that stuff, but Camino is, I think Greg, whenever we talked earlier today, he understands sound walls are expensive. If any of y'all want to get into a business, I would suggest sound walls is a really good business. They're expensive, and sometimes they don't have quite the intended effect of what people think. Y'all been in this community long enough to drive by a site that has sound walls. It really blocks the lower stuff. Some of the upper stuff doesn't get blocked as much. And so that would be a case that I don't want to come to the board, to the council and promise sound walls to their detriment because it'll tie me up to not be able to work with them as much. But I can tell you that Camino is willing, and we've already kind of put aside really kind of at crunch time numbers to try to figure out for me to bring something here that, yeah, we do have something that we would like to kind of work with.
So they should pay attention to the words like what we will do versus what we could do.
Yes, depending on how this conversation goes and whether or not, as of right now, I don't believe the ordinances for the city require sound walls. I came in here prepared to say that if the city needed that to feel good about this, we're willing to move forward with that. So we can do that. We can do that either way. But if we don't do that, we will have some budget funds that we would like to make sure that everybody's taken care of. We also have to be careful that there's not a residential structure there. We have certain parameters around certain things that we try to do here. I think this falls well outside of those parameters. This is a very unique situation. Like Greg said, there's not hardly any drive-ins left. I don't want to be the guy. Camino doesn't want to be the company that run the last drive-in in Chickasha. We would rather try to find some way to support it and actually emphasize, hey, during this period, we want people to be there. I think Greg doesn't think that they'll be able to operate during that time. We may disagree a little bit on that. But I think for the most part, we're able to come to agreements with people.
From the moment this afternoon that Russell and I found out about this issue, the entire conversation with Camino has revolved around coming to a conclusion that would benefit the community. I was surprised it wasn't really even about Camino necessarily. It was more about how can we make this work for them to make everyone comfortable. That was the gist of the whole conversation. And like I said, we just found out about it, 2 o'clock this afternoon? And since then, that was the entire conversation, is how can we make this right? So.
And I know Greg and Barbara just found out about this too. And so, I apologize to them as much as I can. Again, the situations around us doing these do not involve us going in and and announcing certain things ahead of time before we have approval. And so although that was an unfortunate situation where they found out and they felt like it was, already done and moving forward, that's just part of the mechanism that we're dealing with oil and gas and the competitive nature.
My immediate concern wasn't the sound that you're talking about. When I first heard about this, I thought, they will light up the Chief Drive-In like a football field.
Right.
And if you light up the Chief Drive-In, you can't show a movie,
I understand, yeah.
And
Greg was informing me of how that works earlier, and I think that we have the ears to listen. I can tell you that on our emails, what Tammy was talking about, several of our highest level VPs were all on those emails.
Offering suggestions
Yeah.
of what we
Yeah.
could possibly do with this work, how would this affect them, those types of things.
Well, I have a couple thoughts on this, and first and foremost, Camino, to my knowledge, has been a good community partner.
Thank you.
I think there's been a couple years back, they helped with the roof on the theater and things like that. So when you say things like community partner and do the right thing, I believe you.
Thank you.
My thought on that, though, is since all this seems is pretty new, the Chief Drive-In and you guys just finding out, would it behoove us to give us a few weeks on this so you guys have time to talk to them and communicate with them and work out a plan to be the good community partner that you're saying you want to be?
Yeah, so from our viewpoint, that's pretty detrimental to our plans for drilling. So the way that things are scheduled is we can't pause rigs to wait. So things have been scheduled in such a way that there is constant moving of those things, and I appreciate it. I would honestly rather turn around and sidebar with Barbara and Greg right now and ask them if the number I have set for sound walls, would help them erect something that they think would do better than sound walls, personally, just because what we have going towards this well and bringing the rig to that well and everything, we may be able to do that, but this is the next step in the process, and I would hate for us to delay the next step just because of something that is pretty inevitably going to happen anyways. That again, it's putting us in kind of a weird position with the council to where we have a private citizen that is kind of holding the city of Chickasha council to their will. I don't know if they'll agree or if we'll come up with something. I can't determine that right here, and I can't determine it'll work out in 2 weeks either. I just know that we've shown a track record that we will do what we can, or I would rather the city say, give us more on sound walls, come up with a different solution on sound walls, ensure us that
But
there
we're
will be
playing
sound
catch up like you are. We don't know what their needs are. So we need time to figure that out as well. And optics, right? Big companies like Camino are all about how it looks, not what it really is. Well, this looks like big oil coming in and ramming something down somebody's throat because we don't have the timeline to take a week or 2 weeks to figure something out. And to me, and Amanda can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we have a legal precedence to deny the permit. And that's, so I know that, right? But you talk about being a good community partner and you say that, but then your actions aren't necessarily saying that. So that's all I'm saying is my thought is if we could take a week or 2 weeks and you guys can have that discussion, and they're not holding us hostage. We're not placating to one or two citizens. We're placating to the entire community that we want your guys to look good, so we look good, and everybody's taken care of, and it doesn't look like big businesses coming down and saying, oh, we don't have the time frame, it's gonna mess everything up, we have to do this, we have to do it now, and just ramming it down your throat.
Will,
That's hard to come back to, I know. I put you in a bad spot, I get it. but-
will I be assured, will I be assured, I guess if we don't come away with an agreement that they're satisfied with, is it the city of Chickasha's stance that it will be denied? Because right now we're postponing.
I can't
for
speak
that.
for the entire council, and I know that we don't have legal precedents to deny. So I'm not saying that we will deny or we will pass it. All I'm saying, this is the only leverage we have for you guys to take a second, like Mr. Burris is saying, and have that conversation with the affected people like you keep saying that you want to have.
And what the mayor is also saying that I hear is it's not two people that we're talking about. She just like stood up here and told us it's 15,000 people.
And I don't think you guys have been given a fair chance either by not knowing who you needed to talk to and what you needed. You know, you're up here in the hot seat, but I don't think you were given reaction time as well. And so I don't know what the motion will end up being. I honestly don't know. But if we have to have a special council session next week to figure it out, like I'm up for anything, whatever helps this situation be resolved. I'm all for solutions, not problems, right? But I think it deserves a fair shake for you guys to have the time to have the conversation you're saying you want to have.
I think what Russell was meaning is the conversations will be had regardless. You know, I think if it were to be approved tonight, it's not gonna, our goal is still the same, to be good stewards of the community and make sure everyone is comfortable.
I agree with you, but how does it look to
I'm
everyone?
going to have the same number to offer them right after this as in 2 weeks. It's going to be based off of the sound walls being erected. And, you know, that's all I'm saying is I don't really know what the goal of that will be other than we get to delay and belabor it. And really, it kind of puts Camino in a really tough spot to go negotiate with someone that now there's more problems with us coming to an agreement and walking out of here next week, depending on that. Now our offer may not seem as quite as good, but I understand it. I respect your point on it. We're the ones now in a tight spot, and like you said, there's no real statute for us being in this spot. And I guess that's why we've put so much forward to try to build a reputation in this community, to know that we're going to try to take care of people where we can reasonably. And so that's just what I'm offering up, is that
Yeah.
I'm going to reasonably take care of it.
I came to my conclusion based on the words that you guys said, right? Community partnership, doing right. So that's what it sparked in my head, is that, well, if they're really saying that, then, and they just found out, why don't we take a second, like Mr. Burr's saying,
But
and have a conversation?
If next week, if there's a new group of people that have a concern that comes up right before our meeting, we're going to be in the same situation, and we could end up in the same situation.
That's a fair point as well.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
I'm glad you brought that up,
how
because
many-
there's more people affected than just the neighboring
And if we're
drive-through.
letting rigs idle, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars a day that we're losing that we can't put towards community things because we're having to pay for the rig to sit there unable to move forward.
Well,
That's
how
another
many
concern.
citizens stand to lose royalties if we do deny it?
I was given the number that there's 246 citizens, or Chickasha addresses on our title report for this deal. That's not to mention, obviously, you'll see a lot of us around, a lot of trucks, a lot of guys in gas stations, stuff like that. So I don't know a dollar amount to put towards this, but yeah, there's a lot of people affected. You are right. However, I think there's a lot of people on the minerals side. So whenever the OCC selects the company to be able to do this, they're the stewards of those minerals. It's their stewardship. So whenever we talk about money being wasted, sometimes it gets a little distracted that we are an oil and gas company and there's just billionaires sitting there with money falling out of their pocket, and somebody says, oh, well, I don't care if he's losing money out of his pocket. There's some mineral owners in this section and in these units that don't own minerals anywhere else. This is their one time that they have had minerals ready to produce, and they're excited about getting those minerals produced, and Camino is the steward of producing those minerals. And so I just want to make sure, that we're clear on it too, that money, they're budgeting, they're trying to steward everything well. What's good for the mineral owners is good for the company. And the delays and stuff isn't always good for the company. And like you said, we could be back here week after week with new people, and I just don't know if that'll be feasible.
My question or my thought here too would be, I emphasize with your position, because you're representatives and where you are and where you're at, how critical it is to, the timing. But just like you said, this has been going on for a couple of years. You've been prepping this site, and at any time, did somebody look at what backyard you were going to be in and say, And if so,
I
why
did.
are we just now?
2 years ago.
Like, to me, this conversation, I wish it would have been had way before we got to this point right here.
Yes, 2 years ago. And this is part of the complexity of me having this conversation with y'all. And then the people on the other side of it are back there, and I don't feel like it's a real fair conversation for them either, you know? But 2 years ago, Greg saw me out there, and we started down this discussion. I am not in a position at Camino that they forecast everything to me all the time.
We're both consultants. We
Yeah.
don't actually work for Camino.
Yeah. So Camino, I have office inside their office. I'm in their meetings, but the way that these work is they follow the statutes of the state and the city and any local governments. That's what y'all have given them to follow, okay? And so they follow those with their time plan of what to do, and they followed those, and they have done all of that time plan. This was new to us. The first time I talked to Greg, there was some mutual, hey, we'll get this figured out, we'll work something out. As far as I'm concerned, I'm still early to talk to Greg whenever we're doing this in October, and I don't have a permit yet to go and try to negotiate with him. And this is the exact reason I don't go to landowners prior to negotiate, especially when they're in another city limits, because the idea that if I don't get something worked out with them, I don't want it to come in effect where everything else gets held up just because we couldn't work something out. Now we've had this conversation in front of everyone. I think in 2 weeks, it's going to be even harder to come to a reasonable position that we move on. That's just my experience. What I think.
Agreed, and that's why I wish they'd have had it sooner.
Across the industry, like I said, I have over a dozen clients. You have to get the permit before you start talking to people, because if it falls through, who's to say another oil and gas company won't swoop in and take over, and, you know, who knows who they might be or how they might operate. You know, it's just, that's not how things are done.
And that's why the statute, that's really why the statutes are there.
Right.
To make it a fair game on the oil and gas side to be able to do this. If every time oil and gas company was doing this, they had to go and knock on doors to everybody around and tell them, hey, in 3 months, we think we might have a permit. We're very careful about not doing that stuff. And I don't think Chickasha wants people doing that.
When did you get the permit for this well?
Let me,
FCC permit,
we got it on the 11th, I believe our permit was approved.
Okay, so we could have had a week's worth of discussion with those folks before this ever came to this meeting. That's our whole point, is they find out.
I wouldn't have gone to discuss it with them until I had the permit from the city, is what I'm saying.
I think that's the position, because once it gets out, then
Yeah.
however many other people are going to say they have an issue with it.
Like
I think that's what he's trying to
right
say.
now, this open discussion, obviously, there's interest in that area. Adding 2 weeks to that, we'll probably see some people get some extra letters.
But
Is
then I
there
think
any way
if
we
you,
could defer this to the end of the meeting, and maybe you guys could
I
go
would love
out
that.
in a meeting, you could go in another office and have some talks, and then we could make a motion that had something,
Would y'all be inclined to do that?
I mean, if we can do that. Yeah.
I believe it.
Amanda,
but I think
is
that,
there a way to push this to the end of the meeting?
Oh, to the end of the meeting?
Yeah. so
Yeah,
we'll
let's just
readdress- can we,
postpone
like,
it.
They can go
Recess
talk
it
in
and then
another
bring it
office
back
later.
after everything else, so they can have a chance to communicate.
But before we get too far, I've got some things that we're going to talk about. And so whenever you're ready, Mr. Mayor.
You go for it,
because
Clark.
you know Clark's going to be all over this. So first off, and this is for everybody in the room, and it's not, it shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody here that there are 3 major income producers for the state of Oklahoma: aerospace, agriculture, oil and gas. If you've lived here, you know this is what we do, this is how it works. It shouldn't come as any surprise. And we keep referring to the Corporation Commission. The laws that are set into place aren't really to be to our advantage. They're to be advantage of the Oklahoma Corporation Commission to be able to issue out permits to drill. It sometimes does and sometimes doesn't meet with everyone's happiness, because in this case, it clearly is an engineering issue that placed this pad in a bad spot. And we can argue back and forth all day about what that bad means, but the other part is we want to be good partners with all three of those industries, not just you guys, but aerospace and agriculture as well, because this community gets money from all those sectors in the state. And one of the pieces to it is I looked through this, and I'll just tell you, that the mapping that came to me, and I don't know, we can't really bring it up on the screen, but there's a USGS map in here that is on page, if you're looking at pages 156. And what caught my attention first wasn't even the pad location. It was the datedness of the maps being used. If you look at that map, that USGS map, you'll find a landing strip. Well, that's three blocks away from my house. Guess what? There hasn't been a landing strip in over 50 years in that location. So that immediately got my attention because aviation is my world. And I thought, okay, if that's wrong, what else is wrong? And I really went into digging into what those terrains look like. And when you look at this map, there's another one in there too at page, let's see, what's the picture? 152, I guess, which shows the proximity to the, what I call amphitheater portion of the drive-in theater. And so we've been marching down a road saying that this is Ninnekah. Well, that amphitheater is in Chickasha. And so it's both.
Can I just have someone explain where those lines are? I may have been missing.
Yeah, they're in here somewhere. But nevertheless, I'm going to continue just driving down the road. And like everybody else, oil and gas, we need you guys. So I think it's a positive attitude towards oil and gas in this quorum or this opportunity. And the trouble is the city of Ninnekah is not at the table. And I think what we need to hear is also maybe some economic information about what kind of money that theater brings in to the city of Chickasha. And I'm not talking about what their box office brings in. There are 6, I believe, drive-in theaters in the state of Oklahoma. People come from all over this country, not just the state, not just Texas, to go to a drive-in movie theater. We're about to hit the 100th anniversary of the Route 66 activity across the state. Guess what's going to be popular? Drive-in theaters. And so if that theater is shut down effective 1 January, which is the 100th anniversary of Route 66, we're losing money as a community. And so, you know, the fact that that's on the other side of the highway, okay, that became Ninnekah. If you look at the property lines up and down along Pikes Peak Road, which is the east-west road, that the city, the border does this. There's a lot of spikes where people have wanted to get away from taxation. That's why they moved, et cetera, et cetera. But, all right, so that's out there. What bothered me about the mapping piece is that the line at the drop point, I believe you call it, the initiation point where the well pad is down to the northern sector where it drops down is a straight line. And it seems to me that pad could have been placed further north. Had that been done, we wouldn't be here today. But it's not, and it's too late to go down that road.
That was to the property owner's decision. Martin Morris owns that property.
I don't think he owns north of Pikes Peak Road.
No, not north of Parks,
Well,
but
it's a straight line. So when you talk just geometry, it looks like it could have been done.
but we would have missed out on a good piece of our unit.
Yes,
if we
and I get that too. And again, I don't believe at the end of the day that we can't say no to the drilling. We can say no to the permit. I don't think that does us any good because there's revenue that we gain from that permit. And the other piece is, and it's in here because we talked about what was and wasn't in the agreement under the permit, item number 10, and that is page on 151, says compliance with Chickasha noise and flaring procedures. To me, that is that sound wall, right?
No.
That's something different?
Yeah, that's just decimal level stuff as far as I understand, that does not require sound.
Ordinances.
Okay. So, Rachel, where is our city ordinance regarding noise?
Hey.
Okay, so on noise specifically, when we adopted this ordinance, this was before you came on council, Clark, so this is
Sure.
fairly new. When we brought this before council, remember we raised those permit fees and all that. It's really minimal, it's very baseline. So if we wanted to require more, we would need to revisit that ordinance. So they basically are meeting that. Our current noise ordinance for oil and gas specifically is pretty baseline.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the bottom line is, it is a matter of negotiation. If we push this off to the end of the meeting, if that's allowed to be done, then whatever that means, that you're not interfering with the operations of the movie theater, which this is going to be a challenge. I mean, if you haven't seen one lately, Highway 62, just west of town, there's a rig up in the air, lights everywhere. I went over there about 10 o'clock at night just to see, okay, what does that do up close? And yeah, you're going to drown out the drive-in theater for the time that rig is up in the air. And that's visually.
Yeah, and I think we're coming to accept that, that we want to do something on that.
Yeah, okay.
But the real factor there is, you brought up the financial impact. These wells have major financial impact as well. So I just want to make sure that we're getting a fair shake. I think his name is escaping me, but I was listening to one of the Oklahoma senators, and he was addressing the U.S. Senate the other day and said, oil and gas isn't asking for any special favors. They're just asking for a fair shake on the idea that, and so I'm coming here saying, we've met all the city ordinances, we're gonna do all the things. On top of that, we're also saying that we're in a tight spot, we're gonna go and try to make some friends with our neighbors over here. And we're just asking y'all to trust us that we will do that. And I'm not saying that trust us in the sense that we've never been around you all before, but we've been all around you before, and I don't think I have, I can't make everybody 100% happy, but I make a lot of people smile. And so I think that that's, our goal most of the time is to leave people with knowing that we were not trying to take advantage of them. And that's really what we weren't trying to do here. It kind of feels like on this side of it, that it seems that way, that we're having to defend this, but really.
Yeah, well, you're not getting the phone calls from citizens, and so, yes, sir.
Yeah, Councilmember Clark, if the council wants to postpone this to the end of the meeting, you have that right to do with a motion and a second, and if the motion passes. And we could put this off to the end of the meeting if that's what you so desire.
But we have a motion second, we'd have to have an amended motion.
You have to amend, a motion to amend it, right.
So I think we're all in consensus that those two parties need to have a conversation. I think we need to revisit this agenda item today, but I think we need to give them a chance to have a conversation. It may or may not be fruitful, but I think that's a good faith thing.
Had an opportunity.
We love that.
Okay,
Can I ask
Mr. Mayor, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
One last question here. Can you give me a short-term estimate and long-term, like how long the drill would be going on?
Yeah,
So it
so,
said 4 months, right?
yeah, so it's 4
October to
months,
January.
4 months, and then we have, so that's for 2 wells. So I know tonight we're talking about the one, but we're really talking about the other one that's gonna be coming as well. But that's for both those 2 wells, and then
So
we
you're
are.
talking like October through
Yeah, October, November,
January,
December, January.
February.
We also, there's some idea, we thought it might work out well with theater being winter months. I think that's not the case. But we also, just so y'all know, we planned some extra time in our budget for the sound walls for completion efforts as well. So, again, and honestly, I got down here, I tried to call Greg before we came in, it was too late, and I think they were already in here to try to get these a little bit of those numbers worked out. But I just got those, like I said, our team was calling some people and getting some budget lines as far as what they would charge on these sound walls, those dates and things like that. So I apologize that I couldn't get that number out sooner.
The only other piece is, Matt, are you back there? Did you get any placer data that can say how much traffic comes from out of state? Oh, okay. Because I know that was a question, a query that I made. So, because we don't know, and we never can say exactly how many people are going to go to the movie theater from, say, Texas, from Arkansas, from wherever. So it would have been nice to have that data as well, but we didn't give them enough time to do
I'll tell you,
that.
I live up in the city. I'm from Meeker, Oklahoma, but I live kind of northwest of Oklahoma City. And me and my family have been talking about coming down here. So, I mean, I definitely didn't plan on having this and don't want to have Greg and Barbara and their family as enemies personally or through Camino. So I respect what you're saying, you know, it is a neat thing.
Well, I don't think anybody up here wants to demonize the oil and
No,
gas.
that's not.
We're a pretty pro-business council, but at the end of the day, we also serve the citizens. And trust me, nobody understands the term optics better than us, okay? Because it's not necessarily the intent, it's how it looks, right? I think that Georgianne's willing to amend her motion to, how would that have to say, Amanda, that we just want to move this item to the end of the meeting, I guess?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, I would like to amend my motion to approve the oil well drilling permit for Camino to the end of the meeting, so that Camino and the experts have time to cuss and discuss the issues that they have. So hopefully everybody can be made happy.
Second.
The motion is second. I'd also like to, in the discussion portion of this, like I said, I understand that we don't have a legal precedence to deny. So I just want everybody to keep that we also have to be stewards of the city as well and not put ourselves in a litigation position moving forward. So just keep that in mind as well. But any more discussion?
Mr. Mayor, if that was the case, why would we even vote? You're just saying that we have no legal precedence to deny,
You
but
still
we can
vote.
deny it.
You can deny. I'm not saying you
This-
can't.
this
Council
body
can vote
could-
however it
this-
sees fit.
It could deny it.
100%.
Okay, thank you.
Theoretically.
All right, thank you, council. I appreciate all y'all's.
Thank
roll
you.
call.
Thank both of you for coming up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tough one.
Roll call, please.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Southard,
Yes.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes.
End of the day.
I better make notes or I'm going to not remember to do this. So, executive session, revisit 6C. All right. Item 6D, discussion and consideration and possible action to approve resolution number 2025-23R, a resolution of the City of Chickasha, Oklahoma, the city, declaring intent to consider approval of the project and creation of one or more tax increment districts and/or tax incentive districts, collectively the districts, under the Local Development Act, directing participation of project plan or plans, appointing a review committee, directing a review committee to make findings to the eligibility of financial impact, if any, on tax jurisdictions and business activities within the districts, directing the revenue committee to make recommendations with respect to proposed project plans, directing the City of Chickasha Planning Commission to make a recommendation with respect to the proposed project plans and containing other provisions relating thereto.
Motion to deny?
We have a motion to deny.
Begged for a second, but not expecting one.
I don't believe we have a second, Mr. Burris. I think
Thank
that
you.
motion fails. I entertain another motion.
Make a motion that we approve resolution number 2025-23R, a resolution of the City of Chickasha, Oklahoma, the city, declaring the intent to consider approval of a project and creation of one or more tax increment districts and/or tax incentive districts.
Second.
Discussion.
This is just opening the door for additional talks, is that correct?
Yeah, we can.
Makes the committee.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like the same process as last time, that all the taxing entities will form a committee and they'll present their findings to us, and then again, we'll have to vote whether to accept it or deny it.
Mr. Mayor, how can we know that we represent our citizenry in that committee, in the formation of it? Or I'd say, as we represent different wards here, are you seeking from us actual nominations to that committee?
Well, that
How did the citizens feel like they had representation?
Well, that committee is a a committee made up of the taxing entities. So like the county will send a representative, the school will send a representative, right, just like the last time.
And I believe their meetings are open, aren't they?
They're open meetings, just like everything else,
Anybody can
yes.
come and get in.
Last time I presided as chair, so I will sit on it as well. And that gets all the information from the taxing entities and hopefully gets a consensus from the people affected by the tax increment district, if I could talk, it's been a long meeting already. And then that will come back to us, which represents the entire city, to make a decision whether we want to move forward with their plan or we want to reject it, send it back to them to come up with something different or something like that. So the citizens have their representation before anything's implemented.
At the end of it, they have the representation. So in the process of it, does the community have as much microphone time as perhaps the TIF professionals?
I don't
Is there
recollect.
limitations on what a citizen that's coming in going, hey, this is all kind of new to me, what's going on? I want to be part of this. Or is it more like we are here at council when citizens get about 3 minutes and that's it?
To my knowledge, the last time, no citizens came to speak, or it wasn't presented to me anyway. They're open. There's many people that showed up and listened and gave their input to one or more representatives. I know that people talked to me outside of that meeting, but as far as during the meeting, I don't think there is a council communication or a citizen communications part. I don't think it's set up that way.
That they would not be able to speak at these meetings?
I don't know if there's a mechanism written into state law to allow it.
So does Jim?
I don't know. That's a good
I'm not
question.
for certain.
Who's
Jim,
going to be
you're
in
shaking.
charge of drawing up the TIF boundary?
That is typically done by city staff and then also the committee themselves. But to my knowledge, I think we're just talking about, well, Jim, go ahead.
Just that last summer, when the other two TIFs were proposed, there were public hearings. By law, you have a format you have to follow. There has to be 2 public hearings, if I remember correctly. At those public hearings, there's an opportunity for citizens
That's right.
to speak up. And at last year, when those other 2 TIFs were approved by council, both times citizens spoke against it.
Only at the hearings?
Well, they're
Not-
public
not-
hearings.
Not the meetings?
They're public hearings, so it's an opportunity for the citizens during the process.
Correct.
Okay, before the council votes, there's public hearings that citizens can speak against, and that did happen last year.
And that was here when when it went to the council side of things, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I don't really feel like the citizens are going to be able to be heard in this process until the public hearing, and I'm just going to beg you from this seat, hold the heart of the citizen in your hands as you represent the citizen, because that's the only person that I feel like in the initial part of this is there to represent the citizen.
Well, and I totally agree with you, Charlie, and I would answer that with the citizens, I'm there.
Thank you.
Call me,
Thank
email
you.
me, meet with me, same way with everybody else up here. We all make ourselves accessible. They have ample opportunity to communicate with us if they so choose.
And
With you on this process.
Anything. Doesn't have to be about this process. They just want
Right.
to yell at me for possums getting in their trash cans. I'm here for it. Which has happened.
Yes, sir.
I don't know for a fact what this TIF district is, but if it's what I think it is, it's not going to have the same impact on citizenry the way that 1 and 2 did, or 2 and 3 did.
No, I think you're correct, John. I think this is, the desired effect of this is simply the airport industrial park. So I don't think there's going to be anybody in it that doesn't want to be in it, which is a stark contrast to the
Thank
last time.
goodness.
Yeah, yeah. Couldn't sit down for a week. Any more discussion? We have a motion and a second, right?
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
No.
Southard,
Yes.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. All right. Item 6E, discussion and consideration and possible action to authorize and conduct a public auction pursuant to 64 OS Sections 1081 and 1082 for the sale of oil and gas mining lease covering the following described real property. 1, Tract 1, 1.0939 net mineral acres, tract described as north 50 feet, Lot 1, south 15 feet, Lot 2, all of Lot 3, and north 10 feet of Lots 4, 5, and 6. Block 2, Chickasha OT addition of Section 28, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, containing 1.0939 acres more or less. 2, Tract 2, 0.0821 net mineral acres, tract described as a tract in Lot 4, Block 2, described as beginning 79.1 feet north of southwest corner of Lot 4, thence north 75.9 feet, thence east 55.4 feet, thence south 36 degrees, 0 minutes, west 93.9 feet to the point of beginning Chickasha OT addition of Section 28, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, containing .0821 acres, more or less. We have 12 of these, so settle in. Tract 3, .4936 net mineral acres, tract described as Lot 19-22, Block 26, Chickasha OT addition of Section 28, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, containing .4936 acres, more or less. 4, Tract 4, .0925 net mineral acres, tract described as the north 151.25, what is that, minutes? What does that little thing mean? Feet? Oh, take me back to third grade here. A lot of Lot 24, Block 38, Chickasha OT addition of Section 28, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, containing .0925 acres more or less. Tract 5, Tract 5, .3701 net mineral acres, tract described as north 151.25 feet, 151.25 feet of lots of 25 and 26, Block 38, Chickasha OT addition of Section 28, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, containing .3701 acres more or less. 6, Tract 6, 1.433 net mineral acres, tract described as lots 5 and 6 of north half of Lot 7 and 8, Block 100, Chickasha OT addition of Section 28, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, containing 1.433 acres more or less. Tract 7, 45.8341 net mineral acres, tract described as Rose Hill Cemetery, Block 307 and 318 of Section 33, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, containing 45.834 acres, more or less. 8, Tract 8.5143 net mineral acres, tract described as Lots 4, Block 306, Chickasha OT addition, Section 33, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, containing .5143 acres, more or less. 9, Tract 9.9085 net mineral acres, tract described as Block 217, Chickasha OT of Section 33, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, containing .9085 acres, more or less. 10, Tract 10.1997 net mineral acres, tract described as the north 42 feet of Block 1 of Elliott First Edition of Section 33, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, containing .1997 acres, more or less. 11, Tract 11.1081 net mineral acres, tract described as Block 263, Chickasha OT addition, Section 33, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, containing .1081 acres, more or less. 12, Tract 12.0708 net mineral acres, tract described as to the east 15 feet of Lot 7, Block 3, Highland Park addition of Section 33, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, containing .0708 acres, more or less.
I make a motion that we take action to conduct a public auction pursuant to 64 Oklahoma State Section 1081 and 1082 for the sale of oil and gas mining leases covering the real property just described by the mayor.
Well done.
Nice, I used to do that to Chris too. Discussion.
Need a second?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Second.
Second.
I did second.
Okay.
Oh. Discussion. Do we need a discussion, or do we just turn it over to you, Amanda?
You need to vote to
Vote?
conduct a
Okay,
public
roll
auction.
call.
Alexander?
Yes.
Burris?
He
stepped out.
Southard?
Yes.
Hatchett?
Yes.
Irving?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Hebblethwaite?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Grayson?
Yes.
All right. Okay, before we get started with the auction, has everyone signed in if you are here to bid? Okay, come on up if you will.
Okay. Yeah, if anybody needs to use the restroom, feel free.
We are taking bids for a certain amount per acre for a lease bonus for a 3-year primary term for a royalty interest. The council will consider all bids. There are no minimum requirements. When you bid, if you will please stand, state your offer and the company you are with. We are going to first start by offering all of the tracts of land as an entire group if anyone is interested in bidding on all of them 1 through 12. We will then proceed to the individual tracts. Okay, so I have 2 individuals that have signed up to bid, starting with the entire tracts 1 through 12, which the mayor has just read. Does anyone need me to reread those, or if you do not have an agenda that has the legal descriptions on it, I can get you one of those as well?
She copped out too.
Everybody good? Okay. All right, then we will open this with offerings of all of the tracts 1 through 12.
There you go.
Natural resources, and I'll do $1,000 an acre on a 3/16 lease.
Any other bids for the tracts 1 through 12 together? Okay, proceeding to the tracts individually. Tract 1, tract described as the north 50 feet of Lot 1, south 15 feet of Lot 2, all of Lot 3, and north 10 feet of Lots 4, 5, and 6, Block 2, Chickasha Old Town Edition of Section 28, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, Grady County, containing 1.0939 acres more or less.
Hermitage Holdings bids $1,500 an acre and
1,500 an acre and an eighth.
1 acre.
Any other bids on tract 1?
Okay.
Moving to tract 2. A tract in Lot 4, Block 2, described as beginning 79.1 feet north of the southwest corner of Lot 4, thence north 75.9 feet, thence east 55.4 feet, then south 36 degrees 8 minutes, west 93.9 feet to the point of beginning, Chickasha Old Town Edition of Section 28, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, Grady County, containing 0.0821 acres more or less.
Hermitage Holdings bids $1,500 per acre and 1 acre.
We're gonna do 1650 an acre on 1 acre.
Tract 3, lots 19 through 22, Block 26, Chickasha Old Town Edition of Section 28, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, Grady County, containing .4936 acres more or less.
Hermitage Holdings
Tract 4. The north 151.25 feet of Lot 24, Block 38, Chickasha Old Town Edition of Section 28, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, Grady County, containing 0.0925 acres, more or less. Tract 5. The north 151.25 feet of lots 25 and 26, Block 38, Chickasha Old Town Edition of Section 28, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, Grady County, containing 0.3701 acres, more or less.
Heritage Holdings will bid $16.50 an acre plus maintenance.
Camino will do $17.50 on an acre.
Tract 6. Lots 5, 6, and the north half of lots 7 and 8, Block 100, Chickasha Old Town Edition of Section 28, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, Grady County, containing 1.433 acres, more or less.
I think that's just right here.
$16.50 on an 8.
Oh my God, I'm hot. I know it says 69.
Tract 7. Rose Hill Cemetery, Block 307 and 318 of Section 33, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, Grady County, containing 45.8341 acres, more or less. Tract 8. Lot 4, Block 306, Chickasha Old Town Edition of Section 33, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, Grady County, containing 0.5143 acres, more or less.
Heritage Holdings will bid $17.50 per acre and one acre.
Camino do $18.50 on one acre, please.
Tract 9. Block 217, Chickasha Old Town Edition of Section 33, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, Grady County, containing .9085 acres, more or less.
Heritage Holdings will bid $17.50 per acre and one acre.
Camino do $18.50 on one acre, please.
Tract 10. The north 42 feet of Lot 1 of Block 1 of Elliott's First Edition of Section 33, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, Grady County, containing 0.1997 acres, more or less.
Heritage Holdings will bid $18.50 per acre and one acre.
Camino do $19.50 on an acre.
Tract 11. Block 263, Chickasha Old Town Edition of Section 33, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, Grady County, containing 0.1081 acres more or less.
These holdings will do 1850 an acre in the one.
Tract 12. As to the east 15 feet of Lot 7, Block 3, Highland Park Edition of Section 33, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, Grady County, containing 0.0708 acres more or less.
These holdings will bid 1850 per acre in one.
Okay, and that concludes our mineral auction.
Okay. Item 7, executive session, 7A. Discuss consideration and possible action enter into executive session to discuss confidential communication from the city and city's attorney concerning a pending investigation, claim, or action, which the city will advise the city attorney. With the advice of the city attorney, has been determined that the disclosure will seriously impair the ability of the city to proceed with the claim or conduct a pending investigation, litigation, or proceeding in a public interest in compliance with its duty and confidentiality under provisions 25 OS Section 307B4, Chisholm Trail Development, LLC versus City of Chickasha and the Chickasha Municipal Authority, Grady County District Court, CJ 2021-230, and to enter into executive session pursuant to Title 25 OS Section 307B1 to discuss the appointment, hiring, appointment, promotion, demotion, discipline, or resignation of any individual, salary, public officer, or employee, city treasurer, and to enter into executive session pursuant to 25 OS Section 307B3 to discuss potential appraisal of real property in order to advise council regarding acceptance of bids following the notice of publication of public sale and public auction pursuant to 64 OS Section 1081 and 1082 for oil and gas mining leases for oil and gas development covering the following described real properties that have been read several times, so we will just say that they're there.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
We have a negotiation going in
Well, I'll have to go kick them out.
there. Okay.
All right, roll call.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris, Southard,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes, I'll go remove the squatters.
Had to give them a 30-day notice.
Oh, yeah, I'm not worried.
Sorry.
I agree with you.
All right. I'd like to take I need a motion to reconvene.
Make a motion.
Second.
All right, roll call.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Irving,
Here.
Ginn,
Here.
Heatherthwaite,
Here.
Smith.
Are we voting
Yes,
yes?
here, whichever you need.
Where's reconvening?
We're voting yes or no.
yes.
Taking roll call to reconvene, or is it?
What do we?
You're doing a vote.
A vote.
Yeah, vote to reconvene.
Convene.
Yes.
Sorry, I should have been more clear with my instructions.
Yes.
Blood sugar's
Yes.
low.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris, Southard,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes.
You're here.
Glitch for a second. I'm trying to find where I'm at here. All right. We are on A. The first item out of the executive session, we're not taking any action on. The second item, we're not taking any action on, but I believe there is a motion regarding the bids out of executive session.
Make a motion to reject all the bids.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Who seconded? I'm sorry.
Clark.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Heatherthwaite,
Yes.
Yes.
Smith, Alexander,
Yes.
Burris, Southard,
Yes.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. All right, then we're gonna go back to 6C, which we had, I believe we had a motion
We had a motion to
to
approve.
to deny.
Approve.
Was it approved? Susan, can you clarify, please?
Let me get to their.
I think you're right. I think the
George
first
Ann
one was to
motion to
deny,
approve.
and
And
then,
it died, and so we did one to approve.
And then we had the motion place the item to the end of the meeting, so it's,
Do we need
Sorry.
a new motion then? No,
You
we
need
need
to
a new
change the
motion.
motion then.
okay,
It was amended to table it to the end.
that's right. I'd like them to come back in. Thank you, Rachel. While we're waiting, we can go ahead and make a new motion, and go that route. Because before we can discuss anything, we'll have to have a new motion in a second anyway.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, now we're in the discussion phase. Amanda, what is the legal precedence on this?
We do not regulate oil and gas drilling, so even if you all decide to vote no or deny it, we would not have any recourse to actually prevent it. So we do have permit requirements, and a lot of them are one, to make sure that they are in compliance with the OCC, to provide you information pertaining to that, to provide the bond information, insurance information, to make sure that the requirements that you all have set forth by ordinance have in fact been followed.
So why did this come to vote?
The permit.
Permit,
The permit?
yeah.
We have to approve or deny the permit, but based on what Amanda said and what Rachel's told me, I mean, we have no mechanism to deny them doing it anyway.
Right.
Permit is just basically to make sure that they're up to their license, or
That they've done
Doing
all
what
the
they're
steps.
supposed to do.
Yes, I mean, let me be clear, you all can vote however
Yeah.
you deem appropriate.
Yes.
But what the permit is to ensure that they are in compliance with our ordinance and that they do in fact have an OCC permit, since OCC is the one that actually regulates oil and gas drilling.
Yes, we're basically double checking per our ordinance that they've done everything we've asked them to do in our ordinances. Like they said, there will be the other additional well that's talked about in here, the Alabaster well, will come before you on the 2nd. They are $10,000 each. They have paid, have the check, it's sitting in the safe if this is approved, but it's basically kind of some red tape that we're double checking that they've done what we wanted to do. In the future, if we want to look at that ordinance and update and put some more stringent requirements on it, we could definitely do that.
Thank you. Yeah, as a city, we're getting rich quick on $10,000 right there, just want you to know, okay?
By about a valve and a half
Yeah.
Yeah.
for some water line replacement.
so
Anybody?
what is it
Oh,
if
go ahead.
if you were to vote no? I mean, what will that imply for them? Or what will be the
I
consequence?
didn't hear you.
I would.
She said what would happen if we did
I'm
vote no?
speculating, but I would anticipate that they might seek court action to ensure that we are complying with the law.
Okay. That's what I was thinking.
That one also, and again, you know, it would signal that we're not business friendly as well, to a degree.
I would call the vote.
Hmm? Any more discussion? I don't think we can delay it any longer.
So now that they're back, are we able to let them say if they've reached any type of?
Any new developments?
Yeah, yes.
Well, first I want to say I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what the outcome was, but at least attempting, right?
To be honest, I don't know what the outcome is either. We came up with a number, we met that, and then we came up with general terms of kind of what we're gonna put into a nuisance agreement. I just sent them an email that comes up with all those terms and then that number, and then, they're good with it. Barbara's taking a little bit of time before she responds to me, and hopefully, that was the number she gave me. Hopefully, she's good with it, so.
Well, my thoughts are that I believe that you at least fulfilled what you were talking about when you first started, about being a good community partner, having communication and trying to do right by the people affected. So,
Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys taking the time. I know it's been a long evening,
It's fun.
but if we have any more discussion? The motion is to approve.
Correct.
Roll call.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris, Southard,
Yes.
Hatchett,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, council, for your patience with that.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
your help.
Thank you.
Item 8, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
We're adjourned. I'd like to call the Chickasha Municipal Authority to order.
And I say here now.
Hatchett,
Here.
Irving,
Here.
Ginn,
Here.
Hebblethwaite,
Here.
Smith,
Present.
Alexander,
Here.
Burris, Southard,
Here.
Grayson.
Here. Item 2, consent docket.
Motion to approve consent docket as presented.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Abstain.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander?
Yes.
Southard?
Yes.
Hatchett?
Yes.
Grayson?
Yes. Item 4A, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve task order from Half Associates, the amount not to exceed $86,000 for the updated boundary survey, infrastructure, and utility engineering for the airport industrial park.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Mr. Mayor, how many times have we had surveys of this nature?
Too many.
Too
But
many?
I think the situation is, Charlie, is that we have, the two surveys we've had done
Yes.
they are different, and they're
Oh,
not
they're not
matching up.
agreeing?
They're not agreeing.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah, that's the situation we're in right now. So
I
the only
didn't
way you can
realize
see which survey is correct is by doing a third survey to figure it out, so.
Mayor, who was the second? I'm sorry.
Oh, who seconded the motion?
Lisa?
Well, it was me and Clark, I think, wasn't it?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yes.
were you second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Ginn?
Yes.
Hebblethwaite?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Alexander?
Yes.
Burris?
No.
Southard?
Yes.
Hatchett?
Yes.
Irving?
Yes.
Grayson?
Yes. Item 4B, discussion, consideration, and possible action to allow the 12th annual Charlie Randall Memorial Golf Tournament to use the golf course to get at the annual golf tournament fundraiser September 6, 2025.
Motion to allow the 12th annual Charlie Randall Memorial Golf Tournament the use of the golf course to conduct the annual golf tournament fundraiser on September 6, 2025.
Second.
Discussion?
Who's this fundraising for?
That was my question.
It goes back to the city, I think, I read. Is that right?
The way it read was that they're paying part of the fees to the city like the other ones have, but then the rest of the money gets paid back out as prize money, I believe. If I read that right.
So it's not really a fundraiser, it's just a golf tournament.
It's an in memorandum tournament, I believe.
Okay.
Right.
The remaining funds distributed as prize money for first, second, third, and three flag. Those remaining funds. So the city's not making any.
Well, the green fees.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Hebblethwaite?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Alexander?
Yes.
Burris?
Yes.
Southard?
Yes.
Hatchett?
Yes.
Irving?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Grayson?
Yes. Item 4C, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve pay application number 1 in the amount of $284,268.60. CMA 2404, Chickasha Water Main, 16th and US Highway 62, for H&H Plumbing and Utilities, Inc.
Make a motion that we approve the pay of application number 1 in the amount of $284,268.60. CMA 2204, Chickasha Water Main, 16th and US Highway 62 for H&H Plumbing and Utilities Incorporated.
Second.
Discussion.
I'm lost on that one, Mayor. Where are we talking about? This is 16th and 62.
Jim?
These are, both these were, this is a water line that H&H really completed in April of last year.
Okay. It's been,
They did not give us, they had a bore there.
okay.
They did
That's why
not
it's
give us the
apparent.
log on that bore, so we wouldn't pay them until the log came in.
And you do have it.
And we do have the log now.
Thank you.
And Scott recommended approval. And the next item is the holdback, because it's been more than 6 months, it's a time frame to give them the rest of their payment.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Smith?
Yes.
Alexander?
Yes.
Burris?
Yes.
Yes.
Southard? Hatchett?
Yes.
Irving?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Hebblethwaite?
Yes.
Grayson?
Yes. Item 6D, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve final pay application number 2 in the amount of $31,585.40 to CMA 2204, Chickasha Water Main, 16th and US Highway 62, with H&H Plumbing Utilities Incorporated.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Alexander?
Yes.
Burris?
Yes.
Southard?
Yes.
Hatchet?
Yes.
Irving?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Hebblethwaite?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Grayson?
Yes. Item 4E, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve change order number 1 for CMA 2407, emergency water line repair replacement, Stillwater Central Railroad at Chickasha Water Treatment Plant for an amount of $79,900 with Matthews Trenching Co., Inc.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Burris?
Yes.
Southard?
Yes.
Hatchet?
Yes.
Irving?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Hebblethwaite?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Alexander?
Yes.
Grayson?
Yes. Item 4F, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve pay application number 2 in the amount of $85,702.50, CMA 2407, emergency water line repair, Stillwater Central Railroad for Matthews Trenching Co. Company Incorporated.
Move we approve pay application number 2 in the amount of $85,702.50, CMA 2407, emergency water line repair, Stillwater Central Railroad for Matthews Trenching Company, Inc.
Second?
Discussion. Roll call.
Southard?
Yes.
Hatchet?
Yes.
Irving?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Hebblethwaite?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Alexander?
Yes.
Burris?
Yes.
Grayson?
Yes. Item 4G, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve pay application number 1, the amount of $267,637.50, CMA 2501, emergency sewer main replacement, Colorado and 4th Street for Matthews Trenching Company Incorporated.
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call.
Hatchet?
Yes.
Irving?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Hebblethwaite?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Alexander?
Yes.
Burris?
Yes.
Southard?
Yes.
Grayson?
Yes. We actually don't have an item 5. There's no executive session in this one, so we'll move on to item 6, motion for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
We're adjourned. I'd like to call the Chickasha Airport Authority to order. Need a roll call, please.
Hatchet?
Yes.
Irving?
Here.
Ginn?
Here.
Hebblethwaite?
Here.
Smith?
Present.
Alexander?
Here.
Burris?
Here.
Southard?
Present.
Grayson?
Here. Item 2, consent docket.
Motion to approve consent docket as presented.
Second?
Discussion. Roll call.
Hatchet?
Yes.
Irving?
Yes.
Ginn?
Same.
Hebblethwaite?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Alexander?
Yes.
Burris?
Yes.
Southard?
Yes.
Grayson?
Yes. Before the motion for adjournment, I just want to thank everybody for your time, city staff, everybody out there in the audience. I know this is a long one, and it makes you question your sanity for being here. But I just appreciate everybody for showing up and everybody up here serving. Item 4, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
Adjourned.